What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Last video on the Mustang here, we went ahead and installed the headers, and we come on over here. You can see I have the exhaust sticking out the fender right there. We give you guys a close-up of what it looks like on the inside. So you can see there, whoop, comes off the turbo. Got our wastegate all plumbed into the exhaust for like a scavenging effect. Wraps up all the way around. Comes back. There's the O2 sensor installed, plugged in, and right out our fender. And everything fits up in there pretty tight. Got about a 1/2 to 3/4 clearance all the way around. Maybe closer to 3/8 or so up against the floorboard, but I might do some exhaust strap on that as well. We'll see how it goes. Since then, I've gone ahead and fixed some of the wiring on the apron here. Got it all rerouted. Got my little fuse box there moved up to the front. I've also installed the throttle bodies on, plumbed in the fuel lines to the throttle body. Got our alternator on. Got our new belt. We installed the alternator to figure out our belt length. Got that installed. Most of the wiring's hooked up. As you can see, you got the distributor dropped in. The engine's full of oil and primed. We got 45 PSI on the drill. Worked out real good. And yeah, so a couple other little odds and ends I'm probably forgetting. Oh, plugs are in. They're gapped at 30 thousandths. Valve covers are all bolted up. Wires are installed. Clearances are a little tight, so it was much easier for me to do the spark plugs and put the wires on with the valve covers off. So I went ahead and did all that, then installed the valve covers. So it'd be really interesting to see how that goes in the future when I gotta change plugs, to see whether or not I actually have to pull the valve covers off. But right now I'm gonna get myself set up. I'm gonna go ahead and get the radiator installed over here. I've already cleaned that out. So we'll get that installed, get the hose installed, get the cooling system filled up, start plugging in some wires, and see what happens. So get myself set up, start getting this stuff installed. Alright, got the radiator in, training lines are hooked up. As you've seen, we went ahead and filled it too. I got my pressure tester here, show you guys real quick. That's been sitting pretty good, about there for the last 15 minutes. Now I know this is kind of an odd time to be pressure testing the system and everything like that, but that just just ensures me that all my hoses are good, water pump sealed good, intake sealed up good. Wasn't worried too much about the engine itself because everything looked good when we took it apart. The heads didn't look like they had anything wrong, but this is all my hoses, intake gaskets, all that stuff is sealing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that off, get the cap on it. We're gonna turn the power on. Jake's gonna sit in the car, he's gonna crank it over for me. We're gonna do all this in real time, get it fired up. That way if I run into any problems or whatever, you guys are here to see it. My wife, Ashley, she's gonna be taking over the camera. Seth's going to be watching the under the side of the car, make sure there's no leaks, right, Seth?
Perfect. Yes.
There you go. So that's what we're going to do. All right, then. Whew. Jake, hop in the car, bud. Ashley, you got it?
Mm-hmm.
It's all yours. Make sure the power, yeah, go ahead and get on in. Step over here, make sure the power is on. Where's your power? No. They're probably the keys, bud. Move your foot. Oh. Probably help if I gave you the keys. Just get so excited. Here. Go ahead and put it in there. Just click it on once. I gotta double check. Yeah, you're gonna click it on. Nothing should come on until I plug this relay in up here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this off. Okay, go ahead and turn the car on. Key on. Keys on? Okay. Gonna put this cap on real fast. And then I'll plug in the relay. Keep that right there. That way you can step on it when the time comes. This little wire right down in here. Okay, well I didn't hear anything power up. So I'm missing, oh you know what? I wonder if I missed one of the powers. Let's see now. I think I may have. It's a neat thing about changing everything up. So right there. Right there. Let's see what happens when I apply power to this terminal. I see. Yep, I forgot to plug in that power wire right there. So, see that real quick there? All right, just so you guys see, right down there is my first issue. Got a power wire I forgot to hook into my fuse box. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get that hooked up right now. Real quick. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Thought I had some connectors to fix this, but I don't. So I've just ran a jumper wire from that line to my little fuse box up here, power the car on. I'm gonna have to go to the auto parts store and get some little spade connectors for that. But still, I'm not gonna let that stop me from firing this thing up and hearing it run. Been anxious. I'm sure there's probably a couple other little things I might have overlooked. So I'm just gonna give it a shot and see what happens. So I'm gonna give the camera back to my wife. She's gonna finish recording for us. We're gonna fire it up, hopefully, and see what happens. All right, Jake, turn the key on. Fuel pump's on. Got fuel pressure. I have not seen any leaks come from any of the fuel lines, so that's good. It's always a little stressful first firing these things up. See, I know I've done it so many times before on junkyard builds and stuff like that, but first one on video, first one on camera, so fingers crossed. All right, Jake, go ahead and crank it over. All right, it's not seeing any. Let me see. Let me see if it's. What if I have something else undone? She cranks over now. That's good. I'll go ahead and see if I can't trace out some more of the wiring there, figure out what else I forgot to hook up. And yeah, let's see what happens. So I will be right back. All right, after about an hour of playing around with this thing, it dawned on me that the original distributor in this car I had was a Petronix distributor, and my new distributor for the 351 is a different style. So I'm sitting here trying to start the car. This distributor, even though it's an eBay distributor, it hooks up kind of like an MSD distributor. So you have to use the magnetic pickup on the MSD. Never even crossed my mind, never even dawned on me to hook it up that way. I just plugged it in and ran on my wiring the same way it was before. And like I said, after about an hour playing around with it, it just went, it's not the same distributor. So I ran a jumper wire, undid it. Just got this wire here running from the distributor straight into the box. I got to come up with a different setup for that. Cranked it over. Fuel pump now comes on like it's supposed to. Without seeing any signal from the MSD, it won't turn the fuel pump on. So now the fuel pump does come on. I wish I had the camera on for it. It did not fire. I mean, it popped. It did pop out the exhaust. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot again. My son's going to crank it over. Let me give the phone back to my wife. Feel bad. I wanted first fire up on camera. I mean, technically it didn't run. My son did bring that up to me. But it did pop out the exhaust. So I'm going to go ahead and give the camera back to my wife. And see if we can't get this thing fired up and keep it running. Got it? Mm-hmm. All right, Jake, you ready? Yeah. Let me grab this real quick, just in case, because slide that a little bit. Go ahead, crank it over. Starter engagement's a little tight, but let's see. Go ahead. You're not holding the starter, right?
No, I'm right when it starts. I went off of it.
Okay, so yeah, the starter engagement's a little tight. Go ahead.
So good.
Go ahead. Got me all flipped around there. Let's do it again. I got the camera all flipped around. Well, there she is. Fires up. Definitely needs a tune. Feels good. It's not making any weird noises. Figured we'd shut it down, go through and kind of double check everything. I didn't see any leaks. She's running about 200 right now. You guys noticed there wasn't a whole lot of blow by coming out my little breather there, which is cool. But I figure right now I'm going to let it cool down, go over all the gaskets, or just double check the headers, double check the oil, the water, and yeah, I'm excited. My heart's racing. It's beating about 100 times a minute. Those of you that are new out there or just tuning in, this is a 100% Junkyard engine. It came out of a 95 Ford Econoline like travel van. Yeah, with an E150 travel van. Unknown miles. It had a digital dash. I had no battery to check. We pulled it out of the van, brought it here to our shop. Pulled the whole thing apart, inspected it, cleaned everything up by hand. We honed, took out the ridge on the top of the cylinder using a hard stone. Ball honed it, cleaned it up real nice, replaced the piston rings in it, gapped them at 32 thousandths, I believe. Put them back in the engine, replaced all the rod bearings and main bearings. Rod bearings are standard size bearings. Main bearings are King race bearings. They gave me an extra thousandths clearance because I figured I'd be revving this engine up a little bit higher. I wanted a little extra clearance for oil. We rebuilt our heads ourselves here at home, just hand lapping, standard tools, everything. This whole engine here was built 100% without a machine shop. Just basically everything that I've done in the past before, want to share with you guys. Will it last 100,000 miles? Probably not. In order to get everything 100%, machine shops usually do take over. They got all the correct tools to measure everything. All I do is I gamble. I look at wear patterns and stuff on the engines, and depending on that is how far I will take it myself. This engine looked great when we tore it apart, but I'm excited. Glad to finally hear it run. It's been a while building it, hanging out with you guys. But I am going to end this video right here. I got a little bit of cleanup to do, and I appreciate all you guys watching, tuning in to this whole build. Definitely love the comments. Leave some comments. Ask questions if you want to know. Anything at all. Like I said, I greatly appreciate it on how far this has all come. And then being able to build all this with you guys, having you watch it, and just, it's been awesome. It's been a whole lot of fun. Again, I'm going to end this video right here. If you are new and just tuning in, please hit that subscribe button for me. Turn on notifications. Hit the like button. Leave a comment, share with your friends, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.